Mack Rides is a roller coaster manufacturer that has been getting a lot of attention in recent years. They have some very unique and awesome coaster models, but their prices aren't low. Over the last few years, we've seen coaster manufacturers move away from more expensive models to cheaper ones. Today, I'm going to talk about why this affects Mack and determine whether or not Mack Rides is in big trouble. A little while ago, I was working on a video on Intamin's new business model. The video happens to have gotten very little views, so if you want, you can go check it out. That came out so bad. Anyway, one of the things I talked about in that video was how Intamin has recently started making clonable coasters that have a much lower price tag. That's when I realized something. If Intamin is moving away from more expensive coasters, will the other manufacturers that have expensive coaster models do the same? I started looking around and noticed something very interesting. I realized that Intamin wasn't the only manufacturer moving away from higher priced rides. B&M was doing the same. B&M's latest coaster model, the Wing Coaster, is one of their cheapest models yet. Thunderbird at Holiday World, which has a launch cost only $22 million, and other wing coasters without a launch were even cheaper. Then I looked at another top-tier manufacturer, RMC, and they have cheap models too. That got me thinking, if Intamin, B&M, and RMC, which are probably the three best manufacturers in the industry, are all moving towards cheaper coasters, what will be with the lower tier manufacturers that offer expensive coaster models? Coasters from Mack Rides aren't cheap at all. Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City costs $26 million. That's around the price of a B&M Giga Coaster. So should Mack Rides be worried? They have very expensive coaster models, and manufacturers seem to be moving towards cheaper models. To answer that question, we need to dive a little deeper. Cedar Fair is one of the largest theme park chains in the world, with a total of 11 awesome amusement parks. In 2018, Cedar Fair contracted Mack Rides to open Copperhead Strike at Carowinds. Copperhead is a multi-launch coaster with several inversions. The coaster is rumored to have cost a very large sum of money, and the ride is no doubt awesome. But why would Cedar Fair go to Mack Rides for a launch coaster? They could have easily gone to Intamin or even Premier Rides. The likely answer to this question is simple. Cedar Fair doesn't work with Intamin or Premier Rides and had no interest in working with them. Now, Cedar Fair and Intamin are a whole nother discussion for a different video, but let's get back to Mack. Mack's launch coasters are great, but compare Copperhead Strike to Velocicoaster, and you know which one I'll pick every time. Intamin is an amazing coaster manufacturer. Why would someone go to Mack Rides for a coaster model that another company arguably offers better? The only reason someone would do that is if they don't work with the other company, which was probably the reason in Cedar Fair's case. So is this a problem for Mack Rides? Should they be worried? To answer that question, I'll say three words. The Extreme Spinner. The Extreme Spinner is a unique, extremely thrilling spinning coaster with a launch. The model is so unique, it's like nothing we've ever seen. And the Extreme Spinners that opened so far look fantastic. I think Mack is aware of their problem competing solely in the launch coaster market, which is what led them to develop the Extreme Spinner in the first place. Mack Rides also offers the Power Splash and the Looping Power Splash, so those are another two unique models. In a coaster market where almost every manufacturer is starting to offer a launch, Mack Rides has to compete with many more manufacturers. RMC can now do launches as well as B&M and S&S. It seems everyone is jumping into the launch coaster market. Personally, I think Mack will have a hard time in the future selling their standard multi-launch coasters, especially to parks that already work with other better manufacturers. But that's just my opinion. Mack's other models, however, are amazing, and if the price tag was a little lower, I'm sure we would have seen way more of them pop up. I'm curious how much a Power Splash costs, 'cause if they're cheap, I could see it becoming a staple attraction in every park. So to answer the question of whether or not Mack Rides is in huge trouble, if they manage to continue selling their unique launch coaster options and coming out with new models on a consistent basis, I think they'll thrive. The high price tag on their coaster models may turn parks and chains towards other manufacturers. What do you think of Mack's future? Let me know in the comments. Oh, and please subscribe.